a July or early July, I should say, garden tour. Here we go. This was all garlic that I just harvested. And so we'll come this way. This is a huge unkempt raspberry bush that I did not peel back or trim back last year. And so I'm gonna have to do a lot of work this year. And this is just all weeds that have grown up because of the rain and the heat and everything else. So we're gonna take it as we can. But right here we have some flowers, beautiful flowers that are supposed to bring hummingbirds, but it looks like they may be blooming too late for the butterflies and hummingbirds, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. First time I planted them, I gave this row a little more support. See if it needs it, I'm not sure. But thankfully I got all that grass clippings down, and so the weeds are pretty good right here, non-existent. So we have bees that are supposed to bloom beautifully purple up here. They can get up to like 5 feet, which is how tall I am. So they can get as tall as me. So we shall see. Here is a first-year dahlia plant and some beautiful, pretty yellow flowers on this plant. But that stem is long enough I could cut. That's the first one. So I may take a couple clippings of that. This is a volunteer tomato. I'm just gonna let it go and see what happens. But exciting, some pretty flowers. Now these next 2 rows are all my peppers in here. And then I have some really bad germination of green beans, but hey, you know, these will be great to be able to pick just for some fresh eating. So these will be all green beans. And I don't remember what variety I had. I just planted what I had on hand. So they're green, whether it was Blue Lake or whether it was Jade. I like Jade, but I think these might have been Blue Lake because that's what the store had. Now these are sweet peppers. Almost all of mine are, except that one might be pepperoncini. I think I planted those this year for the first time ever to give them a try, but I have lots of Carmen and Escamillo peppers. This is just all weeds that, again, we had so much rain, couldn't get in, and then the weeds just went crazy, and so I need to take care of this sometime when I have time. Now these beautiful purple peppers, you can see those. Look how gorgeous those are. They grow what I call upside down, and those are a spicy pepper that I will grow and give to my friend's husband who loves spicy peppers. I don't like them. I may try to make some cool hot sauce with them, but I need to read up on what kind they are again and see what they're good for the most. And so that is just a fun kind of pretty plant. And then I have a couple jalapeno plants, but otherwise all of these are sweet peppers. So let's move along to the trellis. This year is the first time I got my husband to put a trellis in for me. And this is supposed to be a spaghetti squash. So it has grown so much in the last week or two. And you can see I'm trying to train it to grow up and get those runners around there. It has come both sides of here, but it's wanting to come out as well. So that's another reason I want most of it to go up the trellis, but I was kind of trying to keep this area open in case it needed to vine out. So I considered planting green beans all along here as well, tilling it under, but with all of this I'm not really sure with all the straw and stuff. We're just gonna have to see what happens. But that is beautiful, gorgeous spaghetti squash vines. And then over here, this is a white pumpkin seed, and I cannot believe how much it has grown, and this one as well. So I'm trying to decide if I need to maybe thin that one and take that one out and just let this one grow. because otherwise it just might be too much. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'm trying to wrap that vine around to keep it going up, but I'll have to come back till it's a little bit stronger maybe. These tendrils are looking for something to grab a hold onto. But I'm so excited to have these little pumpkins, white pumpkins. And like I said again, they are hopefully gonna climb up, but I don't know, we'll see. These peppers, for the first time, I don't know what happened. So all my other pepper plants are doing well except this one. And so I think if I just trim it, I think it'll be okay. Now, oh, I see what happened. It's broken. So I don't know if something, look at that. Something ate my plant. It was not like this when we picked peppers 2 days ago. So I'm gonna guess a rabbit because I have all kinds of rabbits in our area. Our dogs chase them away, but the dog is fenced off. Well, one of the dogs is fenced off from this area, so it can't really protect this area of the garden. But this is a big, beautiful pie pumpkin plant. You can see it over here too. I may have to try to train that as well to go up the trellis. I don't really know if it can go up the trellis, guys. These pumpkins, I've seen people online. I've never grown pumpkins on a trellis. I know they vine out like crazy. But here is, like I said, the white pumpkin seed that sprouted, which is awesome. They sprouted so well. And then that huge, what I'm calling huge right now, these big leaves are all, this is kind of a weird looking, uh-oh, I just tore a leaf. I don't know how happy this plant is. I'm wondering if an animal got it too. Interesting. It's all bundled up. I don't know. Again, we're trying something out, and if it doesn't go up the trellis, I think I'm gonna try to let it go this way. So again, a lot more weeds over here. But look at these beautiful peppers, sweet peppers, and a lot of them will turn red and yellow, but I can pick them. I've eaten some as green already. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one because it's so curled up in there. Some people will tell me my pepper plants are too bushy and that I should trim them so I don't have as many leaves or as much height. I've done this every year and I've had huge success. So what I tell everyone is grow your food how you want to. If you want to trim everything off and if you just want to have very few leaves and get what you can, that's fine. For me, I don't trim my pepper plants. And look down here how many peppers I already have. And I get so many pickings of them. We'll see how it goes. But that is my plan. They get pretty tall. I mean, this pepper plant, they're all about probably 3 feet tall, truthfully. And that's great. And they'll get taller and they'll give me plenty of peppers. So just do you, like I said, whatever works best. Again, I need to get here and pull all these weeds because that's what they are, weeds. But I think once that pumpkin starts growing, come out here some more. And sorry, if you saw in the background, we just let our chickens out to be free range and the dog was chasing them. Stinker. He's on an underground fence, so he can't get to their coop, but he can get pretty close. Anyways, I will train these to come out here if needed, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to get some green beans planted the rest of this way here to have a later crop. It's July. It's not too late by any means, and so we just have to get the soil tilled a little bit so we can get those germinated. The bugs are terrible out here, let me tell you. That's the biggest thing. Look again, like some beautiful, there's so many flowers on these pepper plants. And I will show you what I do with a lot of my peppers. I make a lot of salsa, so I chop and freeze a lot of them. I pickle peppers. I've made hot sauce with them. This basil plant is pretty small. I have pulled the top off because supposedly you do that and it branches out some too. So like you just pick that off. It smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. But maybe make some pesto because I have all my garlic as well. This plant has gone wild. I've trimmed it many times. It's time to maybe trim it back again. I have two big, if you can see, two big pepper plants here. These are my two cherry tomato plants. And they go crazy. So next year, I'm gonna have to figure something else out because cages just aren't the best. But look at that, I'm so excited to see. Those are my very first. These are black cherry tomatoes, black something. I have to look again. I really like this kind, and so they are almost ready to pick. In fact, I could pick a couple of those now, but I think I need to trim back these leaves. There's just so many. I mean, I'm not gonna get to all of the peppers, but there's too many leaves and tomatoes. There's too many leaves that needs to be trimmed back, and I can't even see. Like, look at all these cute green. These are my yellow cherry tomatoes. I don't know if I did sun gold or goldenrod. I think sun gold is what these are. But definitely need to tame these a little bit. But I also, just when we did my weeding, these are all my grass clippings. Over here, this was covered in weeds. So I'm hoping hopefully this can stay weed free over here. Might be wishful thinking, but that's the plan. And then this is just wild and crazy. Next year we need a new plan. These are blackberries, and we are gonna have to have like some type of trellis or something, and I need to trim them back and get everything and just take the grass out and mulch down around the berry plants. And that's my next year list here. But then coming here, we have this beautiful eggplant plant. You can see where the purple flower was. We do have some bug damage on it, and then I just pulled it there, but there's another beautiful plant. So I'm gonna walk around this way. You can see all that growth of that blackberry, but that's old. Here, look at how beautiful these are. I'm hoping we can get some this year before all the birds eat them. But the goal is next year, and these are down here. Next year I'm gonna have a trellis that's going to work. Hopefully. So, you see all the grass, this is real life. This is real life. Gardens are very forgiving. Now in here, in this jungle, that is a pepper plant. And so I need to get in this jungle. Again, we got so much rain, you guys, it was flooded. And I couldn't get in here. So it was so wet that the weeds just have taken over. You can see how big, like those onions, I literally planted those onions about 2 weeks ago. Oh my goodness. I don't even think I should show you what my kids are doing right now. They have like a sled. They have a friend over. I'm not sure what they're doing. Picking up sticks, picking up something. Doesn't look dangerous at all, does it? Oh my. Anyways, those onions, they gave them to me free at the store because he said, if you're gonna plant them, I'll just give them to you, because it was so late. So like 2 weeks ago, planting those onions, and they're like huge. I mean, the onions themselves aren't, but the green onion part is, which is exciting. So anyways, this is on my to-do list. of weeding, getting some gloves on and getting in there, but there's only so much you can do in a day, right? And today was a laundry day, so I'm just coming out tonight. There's a shoot. This is supposed to be yellow raspberries, and I have not had good luck with this plant. All my other ones have taken off, and this is literally like my one shoot from it. So I don't know if this one will survive. I hope it does and will still expand, because I think yellow raspberries would be amazing to try, but we'll see. And then here's this gorgeous, this is how, you know, I believe raspberry bushes should look, because it's growing up. But then you see here, everything's fallen over with the raspberries and the bugs. Look at those nasty, nasty bugs. So unfortunately, we're not getting a crop. There's like a bunch of things that I think I may have to spray my berries, to be truthful. If I want a berry crop, I don't spray anything. I have a fully organic garden, but I would like to eat some of our berries, and so I'm gonna have to look into certain organic options next year when we do trellis these, to see if there's something I can do to help so that we can actually enjoy some of these berries instead of the bugs eating them all. So then we're back over here by these flowers on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful. They're gonna be gorgeous. Sorry, I had a bug on me. Again, this is just all weeds that I need to get to, because the rain was terrible. So back to those dahlias, and I do have another beautiful dahlia plant just starting right there by the onions. It was late, and I have like 2 cosmos that came up. I planted a bunch of wild. Part of the reason it's so weedy is because I planted a bunch of wildflowers, and the birds always eat my seeds, so I'm assuming that's what happened again. But we'll see. So now, take you to the other garden. That one, or this one I should say, is mostly filled with tomatoes. Tomatoes, some cucumbers, some of the basics, and I'm just winging it. So this is Florida weave, and you can see all this grass, unfortunately, that has come in, and I don't like that. But there's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. So next year, it's my mistake. I planted these too far away. We should have killed all that, and I should have planted these up against the fence, and I think it would have been a better result. Where these, excuse me, that's exactly what I did. We have a cattle panel here, the fence is on the outside, and they're growing in between, and that is doing incredible. So this is what I'm going to do next year here. Have everything, move everything over. But let's go in and see if I'm getting any tomatoes. I know that there's a lot of trimming to do, but again, I just don't have time. Look at some of those beautiful big tomatoes on there. There's some starting. So I really need to trim down the foliage. I like to do about 1 foot up, opening the gate there. I like to trim about 1 foot up on all my tomato plants, and this year I just didn't have time. There's some chickens in there. Beautiful chickens. Looking for bugs and scavenging and maybe trying to get to my tomatoes through the fence. But here, again, Florida weave method, but if you look down here, lots of clusters of tomatoes. These are obviously paste tomatoes that I will can with, and that's the majority of what I do is can tomatoes. Here's some more on here. Just a long row. This got eaten, this tomato plant, when it was small, and it has grown back, and it's looking beautiful. It's just smaller than everything else. Like here, I just think I need to trim some of these leaves and stuff back if I have time on the bottom. Now over here, I've planted some rhubarb. So here's a very young rhubarb plant. It looks like bugs are attacking it as well. Rhubarb back there and rhubarb here. This is a yellow squash plant. and it was really getting like a fungal. It was having fungal issues, and I see on the leaves too. I don't want that to go to my other plant. I thought I had some spray on hand, but I don't. So honestly, I think I'm just going to pull. I haven't gotten one thing from it yet. I think I'm just gonna pull this yellow squash. My neighbors have a ton, and we trade a lot and stuff. So I think I'm just pulling this so disease doesn't spread, truthfully. I don't want that all over. Here, oh look, it's starting right there on that leaf as well. Do you see that? So I was hoping I could leave this plant, but maybe not. I'm kind of deciding that maybe I just won't grow zucchini or squash anymore. Like I said, I have a neighbor who has a greenhouse and he grows it. He and his wife do, and they do wonderful. And so I'd rather support them. And I could have, I could have planted green beans all in here and I wouldn't have had all this mess. Here's some more of those onions. Like, I'll have to post my video when I planted these, because again, I think these are only been in the ground about maybe 2 weeks. And that's it. Sorry, with a four-wheeler and the chickens. See that chicken? Right up by me. They're right next to me. In their little jungle of weeds over there. But here are my onions. And I'm hoping that I'll get some bulbs, right? I mean, if nothing else, we'll see. Because they need more time. Now, I just fertilized these because the leaves were so damaged and just curling up everywhere. These still look like they are, but it looks better. So I'm hoping some of the nitrogen that I fed it will help. I don't know if this was just waterlogged with the flooding we got, or if we got some like pesticide drift, because I feel like this has been a bad year. I've been watching a lot of neighbors and just different states around us. I know it's been a bad year. So obviously, look at that. I need to get out here and I need to do a little bit better. But even then, there's still beautiful tomato started there. There's still tomatoes. It's such a good reminder that even we can do everything right and it'll be beautiful, but we can do a lot of things wrong with the garden, and there's a lot of grace. It just reminds me how the good Lord looks after us, and it's like, even in the midst, there's so much fruit. Even in the midst of the pain, right? Even in the midst of the hard times. In this one, there's a lot of dead leaves growing down there too, but so many clusters. I think these are just Romas, so they won't get very big. But some of my other Amish paste and other ones I have, they get bigger paste tomatoes. So if you see this side, that is like my Florida weed. I said next year I'm making closer. Oh my goodness. Here's my okra. Yikes. I let it go for too long. I wonder if it's gonna be too woodsy. But I will pick those two that are ready. A little too big. If they get too big, they're kind of woodsy and hard, so you don't want that. Kale, I have 3 kale plants. I can't even keep up with them. The chickens do like it, so sometimes I'll peel and give it to the chickens. Over here in my garden of weeds, what you see is what you get with me. If you haven't noticed, I don't do stuff to my garden. This is real life. Like, if I'm going to take a video, I'm just showing you as it is, right? So the reason I have all these weeds is, 1, we got all that flooding and everything, I couldn't get out here, but 2, I had very little germination here, and you have to wait so long to see if things germinate, right? So here I do have some cucumbers, and it's gonna come out into here and maybe just go up over this little bitty trellis I have here. And then over here, it looks like I have that one cucumber plant that's climbing, and I know I had some more. But they may have just gotten, like, I don't really see them. So I should get my gloves on and come out here and just get to weeding. But you can still see, look how wet this is. I mean, this is like muddy, 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 right? Everywhere. it has just been an interesting garden year, not like any other. So I'm looking at a lot of weeds and a lot of tomato damage. Like, look at that. This is definitely from the flood. Waterlogged tomatoes. They like the heat and dry typically. So this one too, I don't really even know. I'm gonna try to come out and trim some probably tomorrow again and see what happens. Over here is where I had planted a bunch of flowers, and most of them a lot of them just didn't germinate. Oh, there's a bug, lightning bug. A lot of them just didn't germinate. I bought these callas just to have here. And then I had those, I forget what they're called now. Why can't I think of those flowers? I have a couple of those back there, but the weeds are hiding them. So I need to get those out. Here's my chives. They're all flowering. The seeds, I need to chop those off again. Let's see, look at that beautiful cluster. Delicious tomatoes. When they turn red, that will be so good. But you can also look just on these leaves how much damage there is. I've never had this much damage to my tomato plants. So again, I don't know if it's due to the flooding or if it's due to something else. We are, there's a big cornfield there. It's decently, it's a little bit far away, but if there's been a lot of wind this year, and that's what I've seen with drift damage, is they're spraying and the winds are carrying things. There are a lot of tomatoes on this plant, even as rugged and crazy as it looks. And then this is a pepper plant, another sweet pepper plant. I need to come down and trim some of the bottom leaves as well on this one. And see, I haven't gotten any, I do see a flower there, but I haven't gotten any pepper plants. I left this watering can in there when I was treating them with some nitrogen, some fertilizer, try to help them out. So this plant's looking pretty good. Actually, it's a little crazy, as you can see, but overall, like, there's still some leaf curling, obviously, but I don't know. But my best tomatoes are the ones I planted here, in between the cattle panel and the garden fence. And it's the best. These are the best plants I've ever had. Not ever, but these are the best plants I have this year for sure. And so next year, this is the route I'm going. We're gonna buy a bunch of cattle panel or some type of fencing that is maybe taller, and we're just gonna smush my tomato plants between them. And this tomato plant is also doing great. So I say doing great, it has damage as well. All of my plants, I feel like all of my leaves have something this year. But you just gotta go with it and be thankful for the fruit that we do get. Now over here, I don't know, there's a bunch of weeds, and I don't know if a couple of these might turn into flowers. Like the good old AI told me maybe some of them did sprout finally, my seeds, but this was all planted in seeds, I should say. And I mean, those were planted from starts back there, those beautiful flowers. I have some eucalyptus back there, believe it or not. You can see that one coming up tall. I planted those kind of against my fence for support, but I need to be pulling all of these other weeds and getting them out. But again, there's only so much time in a day. So anyway, lots of weeds to do. I've been focusing on the other one, but that's why we use a lot of weed cover over here instead. And I think I'm gonna go pull the zucchini plant that looked like there was damage too. Again, we had a drought and we had a flood and we even had a tornado this year. And so my garden has been through a lot, and to even have what it has is honestly, I'm just calling it a blessing this year. And I'm gonna be thankful for anything that we get. I didn't plant near as many plants this year. I cut way back on my supply, and of course that's the year that maybe I'm getting less result and less yield from some of them. But like I said, these Roma plants look pretty awesome. I'm gonna get a lot from them, and I think that overall everything will end up okay, but we just have to take it on a year-by-year basis. That's all there is to it. So thank you for walking through my garden, my imperfect garden, but like I said, and there's another weed I just need to pull out. These beautiful vining cucumbers. I just want to be real with you. And not every garden is picturesque with raised gardens. You know what? The only thing I had to pay for, this is my 3rd year. I bought one big roll of this weed cover, and it's lasted me 3 years. So I bought enough of it that first year that it's lasted me 3 years. So I haven't had to put that money into it. The investment was up front back then. And I just feel like with raised beds every year, you have to invest in whether it's soil or other things to just make them better. And I would rather, you know, I'm in Illinois, we have beautiful, beautiful, rich black dirt. Obviously we can grow all kinds of weeds here. But I don't see the reasoning of having so many raised beds and putting soil in it when the good Lord gave us great soil for free here where I'm at. So I hope you enjoyed the garden tour, and hopefully I will have a lot of harvest videos for you this year. Again, I should be harvesting all those chives. There should have been. Hopefully we start getting some cucumbers soon, and tomatoes ripening, eggplants starting, you know, the okra. I just planted one okra plant this year to see how it would go, and I think next year I will definitely plant quite a few because the okra has been doing well. Beautiful, beautiful okra.